What is up, everyone? Cloaking Arbiter here to give you a little behind the scenes tour of just what I do with these customs, how I make them, what's the process. So, I hope you're ready for this little journey. Forgive the quality of the camera, it's having trouble focusing, so here we have my three printers. We have the Photon Mono 4K, and then we have the Anycube Photon M3 Plus, my big boy, which I finally got him fixed. He was broken. So, how does this all work? Well, I have a printing right now, as you can see. And it's slowly lifting up and down. This here is one of the Cyberzillas that I have on my channel that I reviewed. This here has nothing being printed. So, let me take you by a step-by-step process on how this works. Obviously, we have our print. When it gets done, I will take the lid off here. I'm doing this one-handed, by the way. Bear with me. So, take the lid off, unscrew my top, pull my bill plate out. Usually the object is attached here to the bottom. So I either use my plastic or my metal spatula. I then obviously peel it off. Next thing I do after I get the object off, I would clean it. I have 99 proof regular rubbing alcohol. This is due to be changed. So I just take it. As you can see, it's really still wet here. Just give it some dips. I'm just going to let it sit and dry. Now, some people wear gloves for this because their hands get irritated. After a while, if I don't keep my hands clean after handling the resin, so every time I handle the resin, I need to clean my hands. If I don't do that, yeah, it will start irritating my hands after about 3 to 4 hours of not cleaning them. So, as you can see here, obviously it's wet, but we let that dry now. And this is a different Cyberzilla that I have. I have not done a review for. This is the more show accurate one. I have done a lot of work on this model to make it show accurate. I replaced the two inner missiles on the inside. Those were not on the original model. So you can find this online, but it's missing stuff. It's missing the two inner missiles on the inside, and it's missing the elbow piece with the spikes that come off it from the show. So I added the two inner missiles, so those four are the two on the inside on both sides, and the arm piece there. He's going for a bath as well. And the bigger pieces, I have to admit, are a little easier to clean. I really feel like they are easier. Now, you can use a toothbrush to get a lot of this crap off. I will do that from time to time. If the object, it doesn't have a lot of small pieces, you know, like I'm not worried about the teeth or something, yeah, I'll definitely use a toothbrush. But right now, this is just perfect. This guy's been done for about a day already as of making this video. He's been sitting here, and unfortunately, I've been working, so it's been a minute to be able to get him done and get him put together and get him out. This is this current order here at the time of this is for someone who just wants it put together and not painted, so that makes it easy. There's a Raptor resonating chamber from Jurassic Park 3, just not in the color I wanted. A friend of mine joked and made a horrible joke with this. Called it a baby skin flute. So, it's a horrible joke he called it. Horrible, horrible joke. But I figured some of you might get a laugh out of that. It's supposed to be pure white. It's supposed to be pure white is what it's supposed to be. It's still doable. I can paint it and turn it proper. It's just I generally print it with white resin, and I was trying to get a little color that was a more off resin, a little more tan-ish, but not white. And it just come out with this skin tone color, which just kind of looks a bit repulsing, in my opinion. But that's the proper way it sits right there. This also needs to get rewashed. So there you go. Easy wash. Now, with objects that are washed, as soon as that they are done and they get their supports peeled off of them, they go in the curing machine that has light, which I can very easily get that started too. So pop the lid off. A lot of lids. Pop lid off. Turn it on. Find our object that we want to clean, for instance this. Actually, I want to re-clean that, but this is done. This is the bottom half to a Methuselah. So, stick this on here. There's a lot of work in this. This is a little stand that I use. There's a lot of work involved in this. Actually, I just dipped that. Now I need to let it dry. Oh well. He is dry. So, I put it on. I set my time. Now I can put this on that if I wanted to, but I took the motor out of the bottom of this that makes it spin because over time it got gunked and it got stuck and it was just, you know what, I'll just clean these by hand. It's just all the same. So I do that, and after I set it, we pop the lid down. It's an Arbiter phone controller holder that was printed way too small, even for your phone. So after that, we got it set. I sometimes do it between 3 minutes, 3:30, and 4 minutes. Actually, I'm going to bump it down, and we'll do 3 minutes. He's going to go for 3 minutes until it does is it spins him around, hitting him from all corners to tighten up all the detail. And it really gives the finishing look for this item. And you do that with all of the resin. You cure them is what it's called. Stick them in a curing machine. Give them a cure. Oh, it's off center. And bam. But that's what you do. Now, after that process is done, while it's doing all that, put our lid back on, because if we leave our lid off, shit starts evaporating very quickly. That sucks. Alright, next thing here. Obviously, we would clean this off, make sure it's all nice and clean. There's nothing sticking to the build plate here. For the reservoir tank, we would pull it out, give it a good clean. If it's on, and I keep a track, if it's on like its 8th or maybe say 10th model, this plastic is due for a change. I will switch it out, which all I do is pop the bottom pieces off here. I could probably re-clean that, but I've been having trouble with this particular printer, so I haven't been using it. So when I go to do print something on it, I'll give it a more thorough cleaning. It's just kind of sitting here, having issues with things not sticking to their supports properly and becoming a glob on the bottom of the reservoir tank. But after you do all that and you get it cleaned up, when you do get a print up off this, you obviously want to save your resin, so you would filter it back through into the appropriate container that it belongs in its color. Clean it all up, put it back together, slap the lid back on. I'd flip it on, and then I would select the appropriate model that I want. The bigger one here, my M3, is a little slightly different. I would turn it on, but if you notice, there are two little back teeth back there. We'll just pop the lid off, make this job a bit easier. So there are two back teeth that you can kind of see here. Those are sensors. Right there. Those monitor for me how much resin is in the reservoir tank, because this is obviously a very big tank, meant to pick up much bigger stuff. Much bigger stuff. It has tubes that roll into the reservoir system, so it will put in the appropriate amount of resin until both teeth are appropriately touching the resin at the same time, and then it will stop filling. But it's an automatic fill system. This was a $1,000 printer I was able to pick up for about $200. Real dirt cheap. Problem with it was, though, it was missing screws to the reservoir tank there in the back. It was missing its hoses. Yeah, it definitely was missing some things. Now, we go to this side here, and this is, oh, that's done. We go over here, and we have some raptor claws here that I've been working on. Some other small projects. Mostly this is the extra project. They don't belong to anyone. They're things I'm working on, and when something that someone does buy or commissions me, it kind of gets put to the side here. But I've been working on some raptor claws here that getting out the door there in their first few beginning stages of painting. We obviously got paint galore. Goo Gone, gloves, snippers, super glue, you name it, all the things that I need. Here's a good back view. Oh, cords. So you can see which obviously what cord does what here for the, or should I say what tube does what. The clear tube here is obviously what pushes the pressure into the bottle, and this tube here is clearly the receiving dispense. So it's already got a little bit stuck in there. But there you go, guys. Once I get it packed or painted and taken care of, it usually comes over here where I set it down at, and I move on to the next project. Got a bunch of destroyer crabs right now. Some Call of Duty COD points. Also got a Call of Duty mask lying about around here that I'm in the process of working on. Need to finish painting it, but yeah, it's almost done. Gotta put the lines on the face, but yeah, that's available right now if anyone's interested as of this video. Slave Leia's and Carbonite, D&D figures painting for people, concept Spirit Tiger, which I got done. So let's go check out some final products and end results of this whole process of once you see the painting and everything. As you can see though, I really don't have a lot painted, so it's the best behind the scenes that you can get some of the process. We have these raptor claws that are almost done. We have a Draco from Dragonheart and its stages of getting worked on. He does have a stand, which is right here. So there you go. I do apologize for the picture quality. It's kind of a spur of the moment idea. But there you go. So this is what I've been up to. And this is my process. Now let's go check out a couple of my other working areas real fast. This is my second working area on my porch. This is where I do spray painting. Small, but it's effective. It does its job. That's where I spray paint. Let's go look at some final products. This isn't much here to look at. I just figured I'd show this too. So here's the collection room in all of its wonderful glory. So let's go see some finished products. Well, hey, Leona. Care to join? Alright. We'll start off with the Monsterverse shelf because it's the most prevalent. As you can see here, finished product right there, Shido Murta. I've done a review on him. The Siren Jaw, which will be getting a whole new figure here soon. We'll be getting him done. My concept Steer Buffalo, which I went out and bought some material for and really wanted to go the extra mile and make it look realistic. Got a Myers Squid, which needs some work that I found. Now, the male and female Muto you see here belong to Photon Collectibles. He did this. The paint job is just mine. I found that online there. The Muto Cocoon. Printed and painted that. The Muto Prime is printed and painted. Which I forget the artist off the top of my head who did these two figures here. Yeah, I'll try to track him down. We also have, excuse me, Muto Queen and Behemoth. Methuselah. And I've always had trouble pronouncing that name. Margaris, whatever. It's a deleted scene monster that appears as a deleted scene in the King of the Monsters movie. He is in the novelization. It's at the scene where Mark is going to the Monarch facility, and where you see the female Muto head that, which ironically I have here, that Godzilla beheads in the movie, which I actually have my own custom right there. Same artist who did the Muto Prime and the Cocoon there. Yeah, this creature's head or whatever torso, from like essentially here on up, was like the only thing left of it, and it was in the movie or not in the movie, but it was there was the deleted scenes photo from the movie, and it was in the book. So, but it's the only concept slash novelization monster that I have on my shelf, and I care to have because any art that exists of these other monsters from the novelization of these movies, um, it's concept art. It's all subject to change. It's all meant to yeah, you can't trust it. So, with that being said, there's another Photon collectible down there that belongs again to Photon. Just the paint job's mine. The Amulet and the Nikika I also painted and printed. That's the finished version of the Spirit Tiger. It's not done painted, I just put it up here for now while I work on other stuff. Nikika and Kamazots. A bootleg Mechagodzilla that I repainted. But, oh, and of course, Titanus Doug, I printed those. Of course, we have Cyberzillas down here. The Zilla Jr. and Cyberzilla that I fixed and made show accurate. Of course, we have our Destroyer Crabs, version 1 and 2. Version 1 is no longer available anymore. That's that back one right there that I did a video on at first. We have a version 2, which I do now. Kevin's head as a little accessory for your NECA or SH Monster Arts 2019 Godzilla. Moving on. Did stuff for my Alien and Predator display. So I should say, added the Predator skull that you see back there. Painted that and used some stands to make the supports. Used a little extra stands for the supports down there to make the little thing for the gun. Focus. Those two skulls, the Alien and Predator skull that are brown, I printed and painted. That Alien skull was printed and painted by me. The Batarangs were made by me, along with the gargoyle here that I put for my Batman vs. Predator display. Wonder if the light up here still works. Hey, beautifully it does. It's like a street light. Oh, focus, my friend, focus. There we go. But there's my Batman vs. Predator display, because I love that comic series, the first run. I'm not a big fan of parts 2 and 3, but I love part 1. And I made Batarangs for my Batman. They were a little bigger than what I had originally intended, but you know what? Slap some silver, it works. Moving on down to the Alien stuff, because I did make some customs for them. Some painted, some printed. I handmade the Alien 3 dog display there from their creature pack. I made all of the intestinal mess from the dog from Alien 3 using clay, soldering wire, and paint. And that's what soldering wire is, the wire that you see all through the intestine portions. Real dusty because it's been here for I've been here for about 2-3 years now. It's been sitting up here. I've had it done for a good minute. Use soldering wires for the intestinal tract and clay for the blood pool and the kidney organs, essentially. And of course, just painted it. Then I heated up the dog's legs and kind of glued them down so that way it looks like it's laying down. So, extra mile. So that was a piece I custom myself. I didn't print it, I just customized it. Same thing for this Predator here. There's only 2 versions of this. Predalien, I should say. Not do I say Predator? Predalien, Chet, as some of you may know him as. There's a open mandible version, a closed mandible version. This was the closed mandible version, and a friend of mine sent me a second head with some mandibles on it. So I went ahead and pulled those off, did some custom work to them, so it gives him this nice kind of semi-open appearance look that is more akin to the movie. So he is more screen accurate. So I put those on him. Uh, Jonesy, this was a cat that I found on AliExpress, and he was the perfect size, and honestly not a bad shade of yellow either. So I went ahead and got him painted up, made him look gorgeous. And of course, we have the jars, the jelly jars or whatever, the black goo jars from Prometheus. I made those as well. Printed and painted these. Come on. They actually print up in two versions, a top and a bottom that you put together, so I just glued them together. I used fingernail polish, clear fingernail polish, along with some black paint to really give out the goo effect coming out of the jar. And I actually designed that on that shelf. I made that whole thing attached to that shelf. I cleaned everything off and put paper down so it wouldn't make a mess, and went ahead and made it look like it was rolling off the shelf, so it's part of the shelf. Of course, I also was able to get little bits of stuff on my fingers that stuck together, so I peeled it off to get this really nice, see if I can't zoom in on that here for you, get this really nice looking effect where it's bubbling and coming up out of the top of the lid. So it looks very organic and alive. So that is my custom organic Prometheus jars. Kind of brain fart there. See, going up, the other customs I have done here for Alien and Predator stuff, I printed and painted this alien skull and used the supports as a nice stand. I bought that model of the engineer and I painted him myself. Also, this took a bit of a break, but it turned out beautifully. And I have photos on my Facebook group when I first got it done, but we have the Machinko Noguchi character from the comics fighting, get a clear photo here of it, fighting the Pred alien. There we go. And I do forgive the brightness of the light. Let's see if we take that down, that helps. Somewhat. But yeah, that was a fun paint to do. I didn't make the model. I bought it off AliExpress and I painted it, but it's one of my better pieces. And like I said, on my Facebook group, I have much better photos of this finished piece. But the only other thing here I could think of that I've printed and painted. Oh yeah, you got some Jurassic Park stuff down here. Obviously the Raptor Claw, the Resonating Chamber, should I say Eric's Raptor Claw and Billy's Resonating Chamber. I printed and painted those. That Raptor Claw there is actually the one on Amazon that you can buy, their actual official licensed one for like $25. Here's the problem, it looks like shit. It just looks horrible. It looks like pure plastic. It does not look good. The shape and the design is beautiful, but the paint job is terrible. So I went ahead and recustomed it and made it extremely screen accurate. Another custom that I did down here, unfortunately my cats knocked stuff over. I made this custom baby raptor coming out of its egg, inspired from the first film. This was a little baby raptor I found on AliExpress, and the egg is from these little miniature dinosaur grab eggs, essentially, so that you can pick up, that has these little dinosaurs like this, like all these ones are ones from those eggs, that I take the egg and I customize it, essentially, as you can see here. I cut it down, which I do have an unfinished, untouched one right here, or should I say. So this is how it starts off. These little grab eggs that you get with the toys in it. I flip it over, I cut this out, I cut that down. There's a smoke shop around here that has these little Delta 10 containers that when you clean them out, they make a beautiful little stand. Beautiful little stand for that egg. So, again, not something I have printed and painted myself, but something that I definitely have customized and painted from the ground up, essentially. Just taking everyday parts and just going ham on it. So we'll move on to the next thing here in a second. There you go, between the lights on and off. Try not to blind you with how bright that is, and get a clear focus. But there's our little baby raptor. Another fun custom I did. Found this online and I just printed the pages out. The infamous engines list. And again, these aren't things that I've all printed and painted. I've gotten the habit of doing customs with just about everything, guys. Just any little thing I can find that I can put my creative talent on, create for myself, and maybe make available for you. I try. But this one was an easy one for me. I found this, the infamous engines list. I printed out into a dossier document booklet, which turned out really nice. Really nice. And I even went as far, let's see, we can't get this back on here. Boop. And I even went as far as, and you can pause this and read it. This explains how I have this list, why it exists. There is a website. You can just Google it. Just Google engines list, and there's a website that has all 11 of these pages available, plus majority of everything you just read right there, minus the bottom. So that's how you know you found it. If it reads very similar to what I wrote there, there you go. You found the right website. Just give it a simple Google search. Jurassic World Engines List. That's INGEN list. Oh, so another custom I did print and paint for myself here. In the Halo department, we have the knife for Spartan Lock. So I can recreate. Oh, focused. Just focus, my friend. There we go. So we have the Spartan Lock knife, which, again, if this thing would just focus, it would be amazing. Oh, it's being difficult, and I do apologize. But for what you can see of it, this is it. Boy, my camera is so difficult. There we go. It's because my light is so bright. But it goes with this wonderful little stand or display that I did. That's the only thing for like this top portion of my Halo stuff that I have a custom piece. I do have what's called the Master Cheeks. For those fans who, if you like Paramount's Halo, good for you. For a vast majority of people, myself and everyone else, yep, we're not big happy fans of it. So I got this extra printer here that I've been slightly working on. It's kind of just in the way. Down here we have the infamous Master Cheeks. And there is display lights that I have back here that I have to just plug in. Oh, wow, there they are. Ooh. So there it is, the infamous Master Cheeks. Oh, I think my camera's dirty. There we go. That cleaned it up just a little bit. There you go. There's the infamous Master Cheeks. Inspired by Paramount's Halo. I wanted to make something that really captured the essence and feel of Paramount's Halo, a piece of merchandise that all fans should have and deserve for this wonderful, glorious show. Glorious show. If you like it, you like it. Good for you. I'm not a fan of it. And we have the 20-year anniversary birthday skull for Halo. And then this, people will recognize this. I do believe this is a Todd McFarlane Arbiter, but it's missing its stand. I bought it on auction on eBay, and it didn't have a stand for it, so I printed my own. Made my own peg system for the feet. You name it. So I went all out for it. So there you go, guys. There's some finished products of what I've been doing, what's been taking my time, how it's been taking my time. Made this almost a half an hour long, but you see some more cool behind the scenes of the collection room I haven't shown. So there you guys go. I'm glad you appreciate it, and I'm glad I could show you the cool customs and stuff that I've been doing and where they end up and what I'm trying to make available for you guys. So I'm really glad that you follow me on my journey here. I'm glad that I'm able to bring you these awesome customs, these pieces, and also able to show you some of these cool figures that I have as well. My displays I've pulled off. So here's a nice little look at the Halo stuff here for you. But without further ado, this is Cloaking Arbiter with Cloaking Arbiter Prints and Customs and Cloaking Arbiter Figurine Toy Reviews. Signing off. I will leave links down in my... Oh, before I sign off, I should say, I will leave links down in the description below to my Facebook group, so that way you guys can go ahead and join and follow me and get your hands and make a commission for some of these cool items that I've made available, though limitedly, I should say. I don't make them in bulk at all. It's just you got to catch me when I'm available and I have the time, and yeah, I'll absolutely get one of these things to you. But thank you again, guys, so much for your love and support, and I hope to bring you more. Take care now.